Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So 2 weeks ago, I asked you guys the question, what channel of Windows 11 do you run as your main OS? And to date, we have 714 votes. And as you can see, the majority of us, 76%, say we run the stable channel as our main OS. And then way behind in second place, 8% of you say you run the beta channel as your main OS. Then the dev channel at 6%, and surprisingly, both the Canary and the release preview channel came in at 5%, which I thought was quite interesting. Now, I personally use the stable channel of Windows 11, and that's because of this channel. I need a stable and solid OS for the day-to-day running and managing of this channel. Obviously, I need to push videos out, so I don't need major issues when it comes to instability, which you will get. Mainly heading to the dev and the Canary channel. And the release preview channel, I think is still okay if you're running that as your main OS. Beta channel, kind of 50-50, but I would personally suggest that the dev and the Canary channels are not used as your main OS. Yeah, we're starting to head into stability issues and bugs and so on, because it's still early days in the dev and the Canary channel. So I would personally suggest that you don't use the dev and the Canary channel as your main OS. But of course, obviously, that's my opinion, and I'm sure that some of you would disagree. Now, that's my take on the different channels being stable, release preview, beta, dev, and Canary. And if you want to stick around, let's just find out what Microsoft has to say about each channel. They say the Canary channel is ideal for highly technical users, where you can preview the latest platform changes early in the development cycle. These builds can be unstable and are released with limited to no documentation. They also say that builds that they do release to the Canary channel should not be seen as matched to any specific release of Windows, and some of the changes that Microsoft does try out in the Canary channel will never ship, and others could show up in future Windows releases when they're ready. And these builds, just take note of that, the Canary channel builds could include major issues that could result in not being able to use your PC correctly, or even in some rare cases require you to reinstall Windows. So obviously that's why I don't recommend running the Canary channel as your main OS. Then moving into the dev channel, ideal for enthusiasts, access the latest Windows 11 preview builds. As Microsoft says, they incubate new ideas and develop long lead features. There will be some rough edges and low stability. That's why I also don't suggest that you run the dev channel as your main OS. And Microsoft has this to say about builds in the dev channel. Builds they release to the dev channel should not be seen as matched to any specific release of Windows, and the features included may change over time, be removed or replaced in insider builds, or may never be released beyond Windows insiders to the general customers. Then moving on to the beta channel, and as I mentioned, I think starting to move into the beta channel, things will get a little bit more stable if you want to use the beta channel as your main OS, but you are going to run into a couple of bugs because it still is in preview. And any OS or browser that's still in preview, or any kind of Apple software, you can always expect 1 or 2 bugs in preview versions. Now, beta channel ideal for early adopters. These Windows 11 builds will be more reliable than builds from our dev channel, with updates validated by Microsoft. That's why I say moving into the beta channel, if you are quite enthusiastic when it comes to new features, you could start running this as your main OS. And your feedback has the greatest impact here. So this is where Microsoft really starts listening to the insiders when they start giving feedback regarding features and the preview of the beta channel. Now, Microsoft carries on to say the beta channel is the place where they preview experiences that are closer to what they will ship to their general customers. But just take note, this does not mean every feature that Microsoft does try out in the beta channel will ship. And then moving into the release preview channel, and as mentioned, ideal if you want to preview fixes and certain key features, plus get optional access to the next version of Windows before it's generally available to the world. And this channel is also recommended for commercial users. And as I say, the release preview channel is really the step just before Microsoft pushes that version or build out to the stable channel. So running the release preview channel as your main OS, I don't think you really are going to head into any issues regarding problems in the release preview channel. But as mentioned, if any build is in a preview, you can always expect 1 or 2 bugs, because obviously that's why it's still in preview. But as mentioned, that's just to finish off that poll we did 2 weeks ago. most users, including myself, run the stable channel of Windows 11, and that didn't come as a surprise. And then obviously the second place moving into the beta channel, which I was expecting from the poll. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.